Welcome back, my fourth graders. This is lesson 7.3, generate equivalent fractions by dividing. Alright, our target is to use division to find equivalent fractions. And I want you to be able to find the factors of a number. And we are good at that, right? We are good at that. We've been practicing last chapter. And I want you to be able to find the common factors of a numerator and a denominator. And I want you to be able to divide to find equivalent fractions. So last lesson we were using multiplication, yes. And this time we are going to use division, yes. So, multiplication and division, they are related. How? They are inverse what? Inverse operation. So if you know the multiplication, that means what? You know the division. Yes, so let's figure it out. Now shade the second model in each pair to show an equivalent fraction. Then write the fraction. Alright, I'm going to shade the equal amount here. Two pieces are shaded out of 3. Okay? Can you see? 6 divided by what is gonna be 3? Yes, 2. And anything you do to denominator, you have to do to numerator, which is 2. Make sense? Okay, we are going to practice more. And if I see the big picture, these are what? 2 pieces out of 3. Make sense? So I'm going to shade 2 pieces out of 3. How do I know? Yes, let's figure it out. 12 divided by what is gonna make 3? Yes, we know 4, right? And then anything you do to denominator, you have to do to numerator, which is 4. 8 divided by 4 is what? 2. And I want you to know, right? So this dividend, right? Dividend is equal to what? Divisor times quotient is dividend. You have to know the fact, okay? And remember, we learned this already. All right? So you are going to be able to find the factor easily, okay? All right. Now describe the relationship between each pair of numerators and each pair of denominators. So did you figure it out? Yes. Each pair of numerators and each related pair of denominators are divided by a common factor. You see, factor is the same. 4 and 4 and 2 and 2. Okay, divide by the same number, or we can say common factor. Why it's common factor? Let's find out. Factors of 4 is what? 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. So 1, 2, 4. Those are the factors of 4. And factors of 6 are what? 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. So common factors are what? I'm gonna list this. 1, 2, 4 is factors of 4. And 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, they are factors of 6. And what are common? 1 and 2. Okay, so when you when you try to find out the equivalent fraction by dividing, you have to find out what? Common factors first. And then you are going to divide with this common factor. And here also, 8 is what? 1 times 8. I'm going to find out the factors of 8. And then 2 times 4, right? That means what? 1, 2, 4, 8. What about 12? We know 1 times 12 and 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay? So the factors are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So common factors are what? 1 and 2 and even 4. Okay? That means what? You can divide by 4 or you can divide by 2. Of course, divide by 1, but it's not going to change anything. So equivalent fraction, you need to omit these ones, okay, when you work with, okay? So I'm going to write down in here each pair. Okay, each pair of numerators and each related pair of denominators are divided by a common factor. Okay, so how can you use division to write equivalent fractions? Explain. Okay, you then use your method to find a fraction that is equivalent to 6 over 10. Okay, so when you divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, you are going to have a equivalent fraction. Okay, so let me write it down. Divide Okay, example 6 over 10. They were asking us to use this method to find a fraction that is equivalent to 6 over 10. Okay, so I'm going to see, you know what? The easiest one is what? This is even number, even number. That means what? You can divide by 2 for both, okay? So 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. And 10 divided by 2 is what? 5. Okay, so that's it. 3 over 5 is equivalent to 6 over 10. Now let's move on. A factor that is shared by 2 or more given number is a common factor. Okay, common means what? We have same feature or something special, right? So you have the same thing, I have the same thing, that's common. If everybody has it, that's common. Okay, so common factor means what? Okay, two numbers or more, right? The numbers when we find out factoring and when we did factoring and find out the factors, and if the numbers are having the same factors, for example 1 and 2 or 3 or even 4 or even 5, those are what? Common factors. Okay, you can find an equivalent fraction by dividing the numerator and the denominator by a common factor. Because you know what, if the number, if we are not using common factor, then you cannot divide for numerator or denominator. We are going to practice that one later. So for example, 9 over 12, I'm going to change this number to 9 over 12, okay? And then I say, oh, since 12 is even number, I can divide by 2. But 9 is not divisible by 2, right? So they are not common factors. However, we can find out the common factor, which is what? 3. So you can divide by this 12 by 3, which is 4. And 9 divided by 3 is what? 3. Okay, that's 3 over 4. And if you want to check, you can do opposite way. Okay, so 3 times 3 is what? 9. 4 times 3 is what? 12. So equal. Okay, the equivalent fraction. That's how you check your equivalent fractions. Okay, if you did right or wrong. All right, now let's move on. Example. Okay, that was just an example, okay, from mine. But we are going to practice more with this textbook. Find an equivalent fraction for 8 over 12. Find the common factors of 8 and 12. We know factors of 8 is what? 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. Okay, that's it, right? No more. And then what about this one? 1 times 12 and 2 times 6 and 3 times 4. So I'm going to list them out like here. Okay, and then find out the common numbers. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 3 of them. So they are common factors. Okay, so the common factors are what? 1, 2, and 4. To find an equivalent fraction, divide the numerator and the denominator by the common factor 2. Okay, even you can do 4 if you want to, but let's see. They were asking us to do 2, so let's find out. Okay, when you divide this 8 by 2, you're going to have 4 and 6. So 4 over 6 is equivalent to 8 over 12. And this is model. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces out of what? 6 pieces. Okay, and these are what? 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces are shaded out of 8, 12, 10, 12, 12. So they are equivalent fraction. Same amount, okay? That's what equivalent fraction is. Okay, Now find an equivalent fraction. Okay, now 3 and 6. Let's find out the common factors. Common factor, maybe singular, right? So, of course, we know 3 and 6, they're common of what? 3. So, I'm going to divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So, 1 over 2. Okay? If you are confusing, maybe you can write it down. 3 is prime number, 1 and 3 only. And 6 has what? 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Okay? They are factors. And then common factors are what? 1 and 3. So you have one other, you don't have any other option than 3. All right, now let's find out common factor of 20 and 8. Since this is they are all what? Even numbers. The easiest one is what? 2. Make sense? Yes, because all the even numbers, okay, have what? 2 as their factor. Okay? Now, this is 10, and this is going to be 4. Okay, find the equivalent fraction again. 10 divided by what is going to make 5? Yes, that's easy, which is what? 2. That means what? You have to do to numerator. Anything you do to the denominator, you have to do to numerator. Okay? Because we need to divide equally, we need to multiply equally. Okay? To make the same size. Okay, so this is gonna be 2. All right. Now 90 divided by what's gonna make 9? We know 10. That means what? You have to divide by 10 for denominator 2. That's gonna be 9 over 10. Okay. 4 divided by 2 is gonna make 2. We know. That means what? 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay. Now let's move on. I want you to pause your video and then I want you to do your own work. Okay? Figure it out. And then if you stop or if you want to see if you are correct or wrong, please watch this video again. Okay? All right. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. We know. That means 1. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. We know. That means what? You have to divide by 4 for 12, which means what? 3. Okay? And then 100 divided by 10 is 10, we know. That means what? We need to divide by 10 for numerator as well, and which is 8. All right, now 8 divided by 8 is going to be 1. That means 1 whole anyway, right? Okay, so 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. So it's going to divide by 2 for from 4 is what? 2. 6 divided by 3 is going to make 2 because 3 times 2 is 6, right? I told you in the beginning. Remember, divisor times quotient is going to make dividend, okay? So do anything you did to this denominator, you have to do to the numerator, which is 10. All right. Now find an equivalent fraction for the point on the number line. Okay, that's 6 over 8. Okay, since this is what they are all, yes, even numbers, we know we can divide by 2. Both, right? They are divisible by 2, and this is going to be 3 over 4. And that's, okay, 4 over 12 is equal to what? We know 4 times 3 is 12, which means I just did the shortcut of the common factors. We know 1 times 2 and 1 times 4 and 2 times 2 is factors of 4, right? And factor pairs, I meant. And 1 times 12 and 2 times 6 and 3 times 4. So what is the common factors? 1, 4, 2. 1, 4, 2. Any number, okay? By 2, 4. So I'm going to go for 4 since that's easier. 4 divided by 4 is what? 1. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that means what? 4 over 12 is equivalent to 1 over 3. All right. Now find an equivalent fraction. Okay. Since these 3 and 12 is multiples, 12 is multiple of 3. That means what? This is divisible by 3. Make sense? Okay, that's gonna be 1 and 4. And see if 18 is multiple of 6. Yes, we know. 6 times 3 is 18, we know. Okay, so we can divide by 6, okay, to find the equivalent fraction. It's gonna be 1. Ooh. Yeah, 1 over what? 3. Okay, is equal to 3. It's the whole number. Okay, so maybe I can go for another one. Okay, times 2 is what? 6 over 2 is also same equivalent fraction of 18 over 6. Okay, all right, find 2 equivalent fractions. That's easy. Okay, first I'm going to do, since they are all even numbers, I'm going to divide by 2 and then 10 after, since this is also what? Multiples of 10s. Okay, so divide by 2 is what? Divide by 2 equals 10 over 5 is equal to what? I'm gonna use, okay, 2 over 1. Okay, and here, okay, I can go for quarter. When I see this 75 and 100, even 50, I always remember quarter. Okay, divide by 25. Divide by 25. I know we didn't learn this one, but 25 times what is gonna make 75? Yes, easy. 3, right? 3 quarters make 75, and 4 quarters make 100 cents, right? Is equal to what? Okay, this time I'm going to use 5. Divide by 5. They are all finishing with what? Ending with 5 and 0. So they are all multiples of 5. So 75 divided by 5 is what? 15, right? And then 100 divided by 5 is what? 20. So 15 over 20. Okay, maybe for some of you guys, 17 is a little bit tricky because this is a little bit big number. But when you think about like something like features that you already know, which is like for me, quarter. Okay, so I always ask you to think about quarters, right? When you see numbers of like 25, 50, 75, 100, 4 quarters are, yes, 100, and 3 quarters are 75 cents, right? And 2 quarters are 50. Okay, always you can relate. Okay, 2 numbers. All right. Now number 18. Your friend begins to divide the numerator and denominator of 12 over 6 by 4. Okay, and then gets stuck, of course. Okay, explain why your friend gets stuck. Because you cannot divide 6 by 4. Okay, 4 is not a common factor. Okay, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, that easy. Okay, so I can say 4 is not a common factor of 6 and 12. Maybe 4 is a factor of 12, but not 6. Okay, you can divide by 3 for sure. Okay, all right. Number 19. Can you write an equivalent fraction with a lesser numerator and denominator when the numerator and denominator of a fraction are both odd numbers? Explain. Yeah, odd number, odd number, even number doesn't matter. Okay, it is possible because when they have a common factor, you can always have a lesser numerator and denominator by dividing with the common factor. Okay, so I can show you, yes, first, and then it is possible if they have a common factor. Example I'm going to show you. What number should I pick? Yes, 9 over 27. Okay, they are all what? Yeah, multiples of 3 or multiples of 9, right? Is equal to what? if I divide by 3 first, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 27 divided by 3, 3 is what? 9. Is equal to what? Okay, this time now I'm going to divide by 9. Is 1 over 3. Okay, yes, we can use what? We can write an equivalent fraction with a lesser numerator and denominator. Okay, all right, both odd numbers. Okay, it's possible. Okay, remember. All right, now next page, which is the last page. Okay, the Lectal Hike Trail is a 100-kilometer hiking trail in Australia. A hiker has completed 70 kilometers of the trail. What fraction of the trail in tenths has the hiker completed? Use the distances to write the fraction of the trail the hiker has completed. Distance hiker has completed over total trail lengths. Okay, so total number over what? It has to go down because that's the denominator. And then distance hiker has completed, that means what? How much he made it. Okay? Alright, think why might you want to write the fraction in tenths? Okay? Because they want to make it simpler. Okay? Now use the division to write an equivalent fraction in tenths. 70 over 100. We know both what? Multiples of 10. That means what? 10 is a common factor, which is 7 over 10. So the hiker has completed 7 over 10 of the trail. Alright, that was easy. Okay, number 20. A puzzle cube has 54 stickers. 9 of the stickers are orange. A cube has 6 faces. What fraction of the stickers in 6 are orange? I'm gonna show you 2 ways. Okay, so first one. It has 54, so altogether 54 stickers are there. And then 9 of them are orange. Okay, and they want to know what fraction of the stickers in 6 are orange. That means what? It has to be 6, right? Because they want to divide. They want to talk about. Okay, total pieces are what? 6. Not 54. That means we gotta find out 54 divided by what is gonna make 6, which means one number times 6 is gonna make 54. We know this denominator, not denominator, divisor times quotient is what? Dividend. Okay, so 6 times what? Yes, 9 is going to make 54. So this is going to be what? This 54 is divided by 9. Anything you do to this denominator, you have to do to the numerator. Which means what? 9 divided by 9 is what? 1. That's first way and second way. Okay, so in cube, how many surfaces are there? 1, 2, 3, maybe the other side. Okay, 4. And this side 5, and the bottom 6. So orange is what? Yes, 1 over 6 pieces. Surfaces. That's it. That easy. Okay. Now 21. Sometimes you need to use the common sense. Okay. All right. Number 21. There are 28 students in a class. Okay, 21 total. Total number goes down for denominator. And 7 of the students packed their lunch. 7 out of 28, right? What fraction of the students in fourths? That means what? They want to show by fourth in total pieces. Okay, that means you need to split this. 28 divided by some number has to be 4. That means what? 4 times this number has to make 28. And then anything you do to denominator, you have to do the same thing to the numerator. Okay, pack in their lunch. Okay, pack their lunch. 4 times 1 is going to make 28. Yes. 7, right? That means what? You have to, yep, exactly, divide by 7, which means what? 1/4 of students. Good. Okay, there are 45 apps on a tablet. Okay, so how many total? 45 apps total. 9 of the apps are games, okay? Out of 9 out of 45. What fraction of the apps in fifth, okay, are not games, okay? This is tricky question like yesterday, right? So last lesson was about what? Yeah, not completely the puzzle, right? Remember the lesson? Yes. Now 45 divided by what is gonna make 5, and see anything you do to denominator you have to do to the numerator to find, okay? So that means 5 times what number is gonna make 45, and then yeah, you get the, okay, this common factor. We'll see. 5 times, yes, 9 is gonna make 45. That means what? We need to do divide by 9, which is 1/5. So this is not your answer because these are game. Okay, game apps are what? 1/5 out of all the games. But the question is what? Okay, are not games. So how many apps are not games? That means what? You have to take away 5 out of 5, which is whole entire apps. Oh, why I put this one equal sign? Okay. Okay, so out of 5, okay, games, 1/5 is a game apps, okay? That means what? 4/5 apps are not game apps, okay? All right, that's it. 4/5 of the apps are not game apps, okay? This is explanation, so I don't have to do over. Okay, so your homework will be 321 and 322. Okay, I will see you later. Bye bye.